What's up, guys? You gotta start a YouTube video like that. What's up, guys?
It's hey guys.
What's up? Hey, guys. I actually have a joke about these guys. What's up, guys? My name is Neal Brennan. I have a Netflix special called Blocks. It's streaming as we speak, where I talk about the things that make me feel like something's wrong with me, make me feel abnormal, make me feel like I don't fit into the world. And now I do a podcast where I have my friends come on and tell me about their blocks. And we are all very earnest and vulnerable. And people thank us for our vulnerability. And they write in the comments, thank you. I feel that way also. They also say mean things about my face. And I don't have AIDS. I just got a lot of tests done. Thanks, though. Thank you for your concern. And we shame here. My guest today, you're a friend of mine, Ronny.
Thank you.
And no, usually you'd say, thanks, Neal, you are as well.
Yep.
You're my friend. You don't have to say it.
I'm trying not to interrupt you. I don't know how long this intro is going for. But
I'm
yes,
going to, that's another thing I've picked up from the comments. I interrupt too much. So feel free to go back at me.
Okay, well.
You got to fight fire with fire.
You're a friend too.
Yeah, you're my friend. And I've known you for 6 or 7 years. I met you through Trevor at The Daily Show.
I actually met you a year before that at JFL.
Yes, that's correct.
Yes, which if you are a friend, you would have remembered. And you gave me some tips on my set. Which
were they helpful?
Yes, they were.
What was your set?
You just pulled me outside the Marriott. And you're like, hey, listen, man. So that thing. This thing, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, thanks, man. I appreciate it. Because I knew who you were at that point. I was like, oh, man, I appreciate that.
I'm very presumptuous. That's what I'm learning. That's what I'm learning from this podcast. I've learned a lot about me. But it does help people from time to time. So I've known you 7 years. I met you at JFL.
Yes.
Everybody knows that. And I have a lot of respect for you. And I feel a kinship with you emotionally in a way that I couldn't. I'll tell you today.
Wow.
I feel a kinship with you emotionally. Here is the kinship I feel with you
emotionally. This is the first I'm hearing about this.
Yes. What's fun to watch about you is you are angry and frustrated all the time.
Thank you.
Especially on The Daily Show.
Sure.
You get to be as angry as I would love to be.
Oh.
But you're charismatic. And it's fun to watch you be angry and frustrated.
Thank you. And this is high praise because for those of us who know Neal is very honest with his appraisals. So thank you so much.
Well, yeah, but that's why your jokes work.
Thank you.
Is because it's fun to watch you be angry and frustrated.
Thank you.
It's a hard move to do because English is not your first language, right?
English is my first language.
Like I said, English is your very first language.
Like we said, great friends.
You're from Singapore.
Yeah. Malaysia. Yeah.
Malaysia.
Yeah. And
you're Chinese.
Yes.
Parents are Chinese.
Yes.
But you worked in Australia.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's just a lot of things for a white person.
Yeah, it's a lot of things for Americans. Yeah, it's a lot of things for Americans. So it's just easier to just go Asian. But, there's a whole world out there and it's very hard to explain.
There's not many Asians, though, from what I understand, right?
It's very hard to explain, Singapore and Malaysia, and then you add Australia and there's too many things. And then you add the idea that you're ethnically Chinese in those places. And people are like, it's too much for Americans,
But you speak English like it's not your first language.
I think it's just being in Singapore, that's just how we speak English in Singapore. Or I went to school a lot in Singapore, so this is how.
Oh, okay.
But you know what's funny is that here everyone's like, oh, Asian accent, whatever. In Singapore, I was the whitest guy in Singapore. People would be like this, this banana, shut up, banana.
Explain banana to the.
It's yellow on the outside, white on the inside. Mm-hmm. So in Singapore, and my Chinese scores were the worst. I always.
Your Chinese scores were the worst?
Yeah, in school. And so
like a 98 out of 100.
No, man, I'm borderline passing. And I had some very, very good Chinese teachers, some very strict Chinese teachers, and I was always the problem in class because they don't take kindly to young Chinese boys who can't speak any Chinese because I moved back to Singapore a little later. So my point is that in Singapore, I was the one who was seen as the most white Western foreign guy. And then I come to America, everyone's like, oh man, he's the most Asian guy I've ever seen. You sound like you're Asian. And I'm like, okay, I guess,
That's so funny because I know you and I assumed that.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Right. So to you, I sound the most Asian. But
you're incredibly Asian. Oh my God. But there's also something kind of punk rock about you. Do you know what I'm saying? I feel like if I saw like Ronny Chieng jumps into audience,
you wouldn't be surprised.
I wouldn't be surprised at all. There's like a kinetic. Maybe it's because I watched too many of your jujitsu videos, but like there's something about you that's like openly, physically like palpable. It's anger, but that's too simple. I don't think it's venomous. I think it's just in you.
Thank you. Well, this is high praise, and I find it
this may not even be praise. This is just like what I think of you.
I take this as praise because you're astute observer of comedy.
What do you think of? Do you agree with me, or do I have you wrong?
I do. It's very hard for me to talk about myself and my own act because anything.
I'm talking about your spirit, though.
I know, but it's very hard for me to like talk as though I'm in the least bit praising myself at all. I find
you're also
immodest.
weirdly deferential.
Sure, I kind of leave the praise to other people to say. I don't want to, presume to know my own strengths or talk up myself because I just think it's very untasteful or tacky.
There's something like your joke in your most recent special. What's the name of it?
Speakeasy.
Speakeasy. I know. I could tell you the jokes. I don't know the name of it. That thing about like cancel me. That thing that they ended up putting on the best of Netflix thing which we all select what bit we want to.
Yeah.
That was you voted for that bit. But there's something defiant about you that is fun to watch because it's not a common move for Asian people in America.
Sure.
Do you know what I mean? It's more like if it were a movie, they'd let the grandmother be that. Do you know what I mean? Like,
right.
Whereas you're like, no, I'm fucking pissed and I'm frustrated.
The other thing is, I think because my mom is an extremely polite person, and in Chinese we call it 客气, and 客气 means very deferential, and so she'll always consider your emotions first in as part of as a manner of etiquette.
Yeah.
In a situation socially, 客气 means like I'll defer to you. I'll say, when you offer me a drink, I'll say, oh, no, it's okay. I don't want to trouble you. That kind of thing. That's the energy in my mom. And my mom took that to the 10, and she kind of made us do that as well. And then growing up, I kind of realized, like, I guess that's why my way of rebelling against it was to, like, I just hate
Do you do
authority.
it to a point?
I do it in
Do you do deferential and then you're like, fuck it? Because I've done that a ton in my life.
Right. I guess we all do. I think it's more like in personal situations, we know how to behave as adults and your upbringing comes in, and then on stage you're the person you wish you were, or you the person you were. You're like trying to express something, and so I guess my way of rebelling against that was to not care. My mom, sometimes she's like, "How can you not care about that? How can you say that?" And I'm like, "Oh, it's jokes. They get it, and also that's how I really feel." And then, she'll be like, "Oh, but aren't you scared of this? I'm like, "No, Mom, I'm not scared. That's what this is about, I guess that's where the punk rock comes in,
Yeah.
Sometimes with comedy, not that comedy just has to be punk rock, but
I mean, it's some of comedy is like a response.
Yeah.
Like we're all responding. Like Sebastian
rebelling,
was on here.
rebelling.
Sebastian was on here and talking about how he doesn't like confrontation.
Yeah, yes.
And then his act is like, all like, what the fuck did you? So with you, it seems like a guy who's quietly going about his day.
Right.
And like, okay.
Right.
Squeezed. Like I could see you getting squeezed on trains. And, and then you go on stage and you're like, okay, let's talk about this.
But I don't think I'm alone in that.
I know
I think most comics I think most comics do that. Most comics will put up
I can really picture it happening to you though.
Oh, okay.
With Sebastian, I can see him a little bit getting frustrated at CVS or the sushi place or whatever.
Yeah.
Whereas you,
sure,
because I can see you not saying anything.
Well, I think part of that is also now that I have a little bit of profile, I don't want my interactions with strangers to be bad. I'd rather have it be good and then just go on my day. I just feel I got too much to lose by being that 21-year-old person who thinks that being honest means saying whatever's on my mind at any given moment.
Right,
And also,
right.
And therefore, if any annoyance, you just express it immediately. For me, that's like a very immature way of being honest. And so part of being nice to people in day-to-day life is, I feel it's a type of maturity. And then you express it on stage. So what you're describing is being nice in real life and then being angry on stage. And I think that's kind of why I might be like that.
Yeah,
it's
being like friendly and personable.
Right, because you don't know, first of all, you don't know who
Yeah.
you're meeting up into. Not that they can do anything for you, but you might, sometimes I'm sure you meet fans and you know how it is. Like sometimes you're having a bad day or you just got off the phone, something happened, or you're just frustrated something, and then they come in, hey, can I take a photo? And if you're less than 100%, which I'm often less than 100% with photos, they go back going, ah, man, this guy sucks, and
I've never phoned it in once.
with a photo, yeah.
Photo-wise,
yeah.
I deliver time after time after time after time.
And so that's also a Will Smith thing, right? I mean, he said like he always wants to be the most positive.
Yeah. How'd that work out for Will? How did all that pent up friendliness work out?
Yeah, maybe you should.
No, but you're not right. Like it is like, and then eventually you rebel.
But
you seem to have your valve is like Will had no valve,
but
right? And you
Will
have a valve,
correct.
a daily valve
of comedy, which is our self-expression. But also, you see me only with comics, and
I imagine you though from your act.
Yeah.
I can picture you with your wife.
Oh, okay.
Very explicitly.
Okay.
No, I can picture you.
Can you stop?
I can. You want me to stop?
With my wife?
Let me tell you what I see. No, I can picture you have a joke about your wife.
Yes.
And that you have, what's the exact wording? The ongoing battle.
Oh, I can't remember.
Between you, your wife, and your tone.
Oh, yes. Ongoing battle, yeah.
So clearly, your wife sees you as pretty punk rock also. And like
tone issues, I don't know if it's punk rock.
Right, but it is like she has an issue with like maybe the way you kind of speak sometimes.
Yes.
I can really relate to that also.
Sure.
Like you're just, I don't know, like we're doing like I'm not being friendly right now.
Right.
Has anyone ever gotten on you about yelling?
Yes.
Yeah, like why are you yelling? And
Yeah.
you're like, I'm not yelling.
I'm not yelling.
Yeah, I'm just expressing my whatever. I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm putting no sugar in it.
Yes.
So what I'm curious about your emotional arc with your wife in terms of like what did she think when you met her, and what does she think of you now?
This is a tough question because I don't want to speak for her. I don't know, but I think I was a very different person when I met her in university. I think when I first went to Australia, I was very grateful to go to Australia. I was very grateful to be in university. I was grateful to have gotten into the law school because I barely got into the law school that I wanted to. So I was very grateful to be there. I was kind of like excited to make new friends. And so I was super friendly to all the Australian people. It kind of took me a while to realize that not everyone is worth being super friendly to, just like that. So when she met me, I was probably a very friendly, like, oh, hey, like, maybe a little bit of a pushover, maybe, or what, And so,
with her as well?
Like, I don't know. That's a question for her, but we never, like, I don't think we had a contentious relationship at all. Where there was a pushover.
Obviously, you got married, and you
right.
Like you actually, I believe you actually love your
Oh
wife.
Yeah, I love her a lot.
Like you really like are into her.
Yeah, I love her a lot. Yeah, of course.
No, but some people are not. We know a lot of people who are not that into their. I mean, and vice versa. I know a lot of girls that are not into their husbands. Like, I'm not making the divorce rate is 50%.
It is high, but yeah, you're right. I guess we should assume that people love their wives. In my case, I do love my wife.
They say they do, but I would argue you actually do.
Right, I'm in the minority here that I love my wife. And,
again.
And so she would say, I don't know if I'm pushover with her, but we always had a great partnership, so it wasn't ever, I don't ever feel like anyone was pushing over anybody. But I think she saw me in university kind of, even before, obviously before I even started show business or started any kind of performing, started stand-up comedy. So she saw that shift.
Right.
And she
and she supported you, like was encouraging. And
Yeah.
Because that's the thing is you are deferential.
I'm differential people I respect.
No. But you're different. You don't like talking about yourself. But clearly you you believe in your ability.
I think I got something to offer. I think I've been doing something right. I think the free market has given me evidence that I'm doing okay, that I got some talent. I've had enough people I respect tell me that what I'm doing is good. So that helps a lot. You know, I think comics, we just want pure respect and a ton of money. And some people laugh.
I also love that you were like the first person I remember in culture just saying Asian people love money. It's such a funny thing because it's like Jewish stereotype.
Right.
Seinfeld said it to Hassan, and when he did Comedians in Cars, he was like, "Your people, my people, we both good with a buck." And I've never heard an Asian, and it was such a fucking good bit because it was like a great. It's an observation I wasn't even aware I was aware of.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
And I'm sure it's got to be one of your top 5 popular.
Again, I can't answer that question, but
you won't. You can though.
I mean, it's Chinese New Year today, so
that's why. So that's why we had you.
Right.
You're welcome.
Again, you see me a lot with other comics, and I feel like real comics are very respectful to other comics because they both get it. And so how you see me act with you is that's how I act with peers, especially peers I respect, colleagues, or even seniors I respect or whatever. Yeah. So that, you know.
What are you like the rest of the time?
I might not be this differential the rest of the time. There's people who, you know, because I come from the I come from the corporate
crisp
world.
Collars, huge crisp collars.
I come from the corporate world, so I went to law school with a lot of type A personality people, and who thought a lot about themselves, thought very highly of themselves. So when I'm with them, maybe I'm not as differential because I'm like,
I don't think maybe. I think you're not. I think based on the way you said maybe.
Yeah.
Are you? Well, that's the other thing I like about you. Pretty openly competitive, and not competitive with particular people. You have no qualms about making it clear that you want to succeed.
Oh, is that it? Okay. I hope.
No, I don't. No, but like you're like, I want to do well. I want to make a ton of money. I want to.
Oh, yeah. I want to make a ton of money, but not at the expense
like the lottery.
of anybody.
No, but not at the. But you want to. You're like you like sports. You like the idea of like the proving yourself, and
I think I like the. I don't know if I want to be successful, but I like the idea of results speak for themselves.
Yeah.
So I want to be able to show results. I don't necessarily want to I'm not like I want to conquer the world. I need this. I need this many special. I need blah blah. But I think that like I want to. I kind of want to prove myself through results and let the results speak for themselves. So in that sense, I guess I am. I'm ambitious as far as I want to get good results so that can do the talking for me. Yes.
Which I respect.
Sure.
Yes. Block. I don't know what number it is, but it's a block. I don't like celebrating holidays or birthdays. That's what you sent me.
Yeah.
Tell me more.
I just feel like I'm very lucky to be in a job that I really love doing, stand-up comedy and acting, and I get to do that every day. I get to work on it, and I just feel like every day is a celebration, as corny as that is. So I don't need these special days of peaks. I'm like, I just want every day to be good, you know? And so when people make a big deal about holidays or birthdays, I'm like, and also as comics, I don't know if you feel this way, but it's just like, if you get really good at comedy, you're going to be missing a lot of birthdays, weddings, holidays.
It's fantastic.
Yeah, it's the best. Anyone's like, hey, can you come for his wedding? I'm like, no, I can't.
No, I can't.
I got a gig.
Where? I don't know yet.
I don't know yet. I'm gonna book something, and like, so I'm used to skipping all this stuff, you know. And I don't know.
I said this recently to Santino, which is the idea of birthdays is like. First off, we can buy whatever we want. I can get access to cake. Yeah, I can get cake. I can get gifts. I can get a pony. I can get a pony whenever I want. I could get a pony right now.
Yes, if you wanted to.
Yeah, if I wanted to.
There's probably an app for that right now.
Yeah, I'm sure the pony app.
Yeah.
The feeling people get when they bring out a birthday cake is our job. Do you know what I mean? Like the da 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 da, like that like however long the song is, 40 seconds.
That euphoria. Yeah.
Every night. Sometimes for an hour and change.
Yes.
The feeling when you go bowling and get a strike and you turn around.
Yes.
Again,
exactly.
That's our job.
Exactly.
So I'm with you in terms of celebrating.
Right.
There may be a part that I don't like pretending I like the gift.
Yes.
That's my least favorite part about gifts.
Yeah, the gifts thing for me, one is environmental. It's like, you're gonna give me stuff I don't want. What's gonna happen to this? In order to not have it end up in a river choking out a dolphin, I have to go find someone else who can actually use this. And that takes like 3 hours of
You got to pawn it off.
Yeah. And
You're a pawn star all of a sudden.
And it's a problem. So gifts I don't want is a huge headache. And not to mention like the wrapping that comes with it, and then the time you spend dealing with it. And like you said, we're adults. Like I don't know about you, but I actually take pleasure in finding the things that I like, getting the best version of it, and then using it forever, and not having like 5 or 6 shittier versions of that one thing.
I'm hoping to never buy more clothes ever again.
Yeah.
I'm really think I'm close.
Yeah.
Really.
And that's the other point. In America, especially, the gift-giving culture, which is very generous of Americans.
No.
But
America, take nothing away. What a culture.
But I think in America especially, we get a lot of free t-shirts. And we got to stop with this. We got to stop with the free t-shirts, man. We got enough.
Stop.
It's always XXL. It never fits. They give it out as though we all want to wear this. That's why I stopped selling. You know, when I first started out, I had joke
think
t-shirts.
I know what you're going to say. Go ahead.
Merch, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
People go, we merch stand. I'm like, I'm not going to make more garbage so I can make $7.
Right.
And carry boxes of t-shirts everywhere.
Right.
And albums. And then I got
right.
Don't look at this as I don't need the $7. It's more just like, I don't want to create fucking garbage for the earth. Like, here, Earth, you take it. That's how I feel about all this shit that I get. Like, I'm so grateful to hear somebody else say it.
And not just t-shirts, but in America, just by living, you just start accumulating pens, and then there's water bottles, and then people will send you,
headphones.
A
lot of headphones.
A lot of headphones in America. And I'm very blessed to be in a position where people want to send me things. It's very kind. I actually just start replying back like, hi, everybody. Thank you for offering me this. I actually live a minimalist lifestyle, and so I need to decline this thing. Every time I say that, people always understand. They always like, oh, yeah, we get it. Oh, you don't want this gift box.
They go, this is stupid anyway. What we're doing is a stupid idea.
Right. So it's easier to decline it. And then I'm always, sometimes when they just don't ask me, just send it to my office. And then I'll like, oh, man, I can't use any of this. And then I'm like, I literally just ask anyone on the internet, hey, anybody want this? And people are like, yeah, I want it. And they'll take it.
Because it's hard. It's the t-shirt thing, the t-shirt gun at the basketball game.
Yeah.
There's something psychological about it.
Yeah.
Because we're all such scarcity animals.
Right.
Meaning we have cave brains that believe.
But even in America.
I don't know where my next meal's coming from.
Yes.
I don't know
where my next t-shirt is coming from.
No,
But even in America in 2023, people here have grown up their entire lives with free t-shirts, their entire lives. And they're still thinking like, oh shit, when's my next t-shirt gonna come from? I gotta get this free t-shirt here.
We have a t-shirt scarcity issue.
Hats, everything.
Fucking hats.
Hats, keychains. At least,
I don't mind pens because I need pens, and I lose pens constantly.
Even pens, I'm like,
you're over pens.
Yeah, pens, I'm over it. Like paper, at least I can use paper.
Yeah.
So yeah, hate birthdays, hate holidays. Would love seeing people. When I go to when I go for these things, I usually end up having a good time, but also very happy to not celebrate.
Let's just go somewhere.
Yeah.
We don't need to
social connections. Great.
Yeah, great, fantastic.
The presence and the making it the big deal. And like you said, a lot of it's because we get it. We get our fix from stage.
Yes, from the job.
Yeah.
Like we get huge amounts of approval.
Yeah. One thing that people probably can maybe get from dare I say Chinese people is just give money.
Totally agree.
Just money is the best gift. You can pay rent, you could pay your phone bill, you could it's environmental, it's portable. It's every time I bring this up, people look at me like I'm crazy. But the gift of money, the best
fantastic.
Gift, then it's convenient.
No one's ever mad about money.
Yes, 100%. But no one in America,
but it seems like bad form. It's like you didn't put any thought into it.
Right.
Oh no, I put a ton of thought into it.
Yes.
I saw everything and was like, you know what? This solves Money solves almost every problem.
Almost every problem.
So
Yes.
don't you fucking tell me for a second that I wasn't thoughtful.
Yes.
I've been around a while. This money shit's very useful.
Money.
Here's some.
Yeah, especially if you're traveling, like we are always traveling. It's like you get these gifts.
Do you carry cash?
I have emergency cash, but
You're like I'm doing a lot of Apple Pay.
Yeah, I'm an Apple Pay guy. I'm always more Apple Paying. But but when you're traveling a lot and then people give you because we're kind of professional travelers.
Yes.
Part of our job is being
yes.
And they'll give you this stuff like t-shirts, hoodies, and then you're like, I pack to a T. I can't.
Yeah, I don't take a hoodie.
Yeah, I reject the hoodie all the time. Turn it down all the time.
This is basically a podcast where it's called the Ingrates. Welcome to Ingrates with Ronny Chieng and Neal Brennan. We don't give us anything. We don't want it.
Well, like Mary Kondo, but like pissed about it.
Then another time, guy tried to give me a car. I said, "Oh no, you don't.
No, you don't. I got no space in my."
Yeah, bro. I got one space. What the fuck are you trying to do? Hey, do you like me? Do you like the podcast? Did you like Blocks on Netflix and Free Mics on Netflix? Come see me on my new tour. Brand new Neal coming to Madison, Nashville, Salt Lake City, San Diego, Washington, D.C., Baltimore, Atlanta, New Orleans. Thought it was going to be New York. New York's coming. Austin, Houston, Dallas, New York. Told you it was coming. Philly, Boston, Los Angeles. Figured it would be Angeles. Los Angeles, Denver, Phoenix, San Francisco, Seattle, Portland, Chicago, Minneapolis, Vancouver, Toronto. If you have a good airport, I'm coming to your city. So come fuck with me. It's a good hour, and it's called Brand New Neal. Go to nealbrennan.com for tickets. Please cure my clinical depression. Actually, it's not bad right now, thanks to you. So cash, give cash. Totally agree. This is a good one. A new block. I would rather read Wikipedia summaries of TV shows and movies than watch them.
Sometimes.
Sometimes. Sorry, I omitted a word.
I just there's so much stuff to watch.
Too much stuff.
There's a lot of seasons of a lot of stuff, and sometimes as part of our job, we need to keep up with the Game of whatever.
Can't do it,
and you can't do it, and you just gotta read what
House of Dragons. Couldn't do Game of Thrones. Haven't started House of Dragons. Haven't watched White Lotus.
I
haven't. No, I'm not doing The Last of Us.
Yeah.
I'm not doing fucking You.
Right.
I mean, I like.
Sure.
I'm not doing them.
There's a lot. There's a lot, and Wikipedia is the hack to kind of, for our job purposes, keep up with pop culture references. But
have you ever referenced anything in your act?
Yes.
That you didn't have firsthand now. Great.
I think I referenced Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
And I never watched it.
But I'm not saying Game of Thrones. I'm saying like Khaleesi at the Red Wedding. Like, you know what I mean? Like, have you done?
Yes, I referenced how dark the Game of Thrones episode was. And I never watched it.
Fantastic.
What a reveal.
I mean, what a fucking scoop and a half.
Hope that doesn't go viral.
Do you love comedy and specific references?
But to be fair, the Game of Thrones thing is also time, and also I just personally can't watch that much gore. Like, I'm just not a fan of the torture and gore and the rape stuff, and so I just can't watch it. So I
can't get enough.
Yeah, different. I just can't.
That's my only gripe.
Yeah,
with these shows is where's the rape? I look for rape.
That's my mental block.
Incest and rape. I Google. I go to TV Guide. Is that still a thing? I look in TV Guide. I go to the back, the index.
Yeah, you find a lot of that on the internet.
I don't like many story shows. Like I just didn't. I don't really like sitcoms. I like sketches.
Right.
6 minutes is about my limit for. Right. Although I loved Fleabag season 1, I haven't watched it anymore. Right. So like.
Yeah, and a lot of this not watching is totally not disrespect at all. It's not.
I have tons of. I mean,
exactly
the people that do these shows. I mean, having done 2 seasons of a show, I can't believe people do this.
Yes.
I fucking cannot believe.
Yes.
My buddy Brett Goldstein, who's on, he's on Sudeikis' show, and now
Ted
he's got
Lasso.
a
You can
new
say Ted
show
Lasso.
coming out.
Uh-huh.
Ted Lasso.
Yeah.
I called Sudeikis' show.
Yeah.
He's got a new show coming out, and he's not even on it with Harrison Ford and Jason Segel for Apple TV.
Uh-huh.
He's just writing. I'm like, you're just writing
Oh yeah.
for two different. It's insane.
And acting.
Yeah, but like, and he's got. Could you imagine writing and acting one show and then just writing another show? Is insane to me.
Yeah. That's.
It seems like he's throwing his whole life away.
Well, that's kind of what we're doing.
Have you given money to Wikipedia?
Yes.
So have I.
Yeah, because sometimes they ask for money, and I'm like, yeah,
Yep.
you know what? Yes,
You
I get
deserve it.
so much out of your website over the last 20 years of my life.
Yep.
Like, please, just take this money, take this $5, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, gift of money, guys. We
And-
walk the walk.
And yeah, just it again doesn't come from disrespect of people's shows. As people who make shows, we know how hard it is to do stuff. It just comes from lack of time, and sometimes, you know, when your job is to stare at a screen all day, sometimes to relax, you just don't want to stare at a screen. You go stare at a tree or something in real life.
I totally agree.
So
Or basketball, just something that's not the thing I
Yes.
do. And
Yes.
are getting ready to maybe ruin basketball for yourself because Ronnie has a show.
May I be so bold as to do that?
Ronnie's made a pilot for Hulu where he works for the Brooklyn Nets.
Yeah.
Are you like the GM, assistant
Yeah.
GM?
GM. Yeah.
GM of the Nets.
Yeah.
And sorry to disrespect you with assistant.
No.
I was just trying to give you a fucking
a lot
character arc.
A lot of the show is based on the energy of this disrespect. So
I was trying to give you a character arc. You start off as assistant because where are you going to go? What are you going to own the team by the fourth season? How are you going to pull that off? I'm trying to give you a fucking place to go. I've written shows. All right. Here's a good one. Sometimes I'm nicer to strangers I'm meeting for the first time than the people I love.
This clearly is a note from a wife. And
Did you call her a wife? A note from a wife. Yes.
A note from a wife. In this case, a note from my wife to me. And she has accused me of this several times, and I have to agree with it a little bit because, to your point, sometimes when we talk to people we're very familiar with, we're more abrupt, or we're kind of less inclined to put sugar in it, as you said. Just give it to it straight. Not even to be mean, not with bravado, but just trying to be as simple as possible with the honesty. And turns out people who love you don't appreciate that as much. And it's important to put sugar in what you say sometimes. And I find that exactly what we're talking about at the start of the episode. You know, you meet strangers and you don't want them to, if they know, for example, because you have a little bit of profile, in my head, I'm always like, I don't want them to walk away having a bad interaction with someone who they might like being me. So you kind of dress it up a bit, you kind of put a little bit more effort into it, and then you kind of have to, you can't, I don't know, me personally, I'm not that happy the whole day. So you go back to where you were before, and then it turns out that when you're at the most is when you're with people you love.
No, I agree. And it's also like, you don't care if your wife doesn't catch a good interaction with you. You fucking,
No, I do care.
She's fucking stockpiled a number going, first of all, you married her.
I do care, and I should care. And it's something I'm working on, but this is never something I've never even discussed before. So
No, but you don't want to be on duty all the time. Like I'm thinking about taking a trip, and I was thinking about bringing someone with me. And then I was like, well, who could I bring that I don't have to be on is the wrong word, but like, just a friend of mine. I believe it's a Dorothy Parker quote, but I credit it to my friend Monica Martin, who's an amazing singer. She said, I don't always want to be perceived.
Yes.
I just don't want to have the hot gaze of another human being on me.
Well, yeah,
all the time.
That's a block you probably have to work on, because that's you.
If only there were a podcast.
Because that's the thing with having like a partner, you want to, you hopefully find a partner who you don't mind doing that with, and it doesn't feel like
I wish the same for you,
right.
motherfucker. Because you brought it up.
Yeah, I brought this up. And so no, I'm saying this is something I'm working on. It's something that brought my attention, and also some of it is, people you love come with a lot of baggage that because you've been with them your whole life. You know the shit that they've done to you, or shit which they're about to do to you, or shit that they're going to do to themselves. And so it's like
You hold it against them.
Yeah,
ahead
you hold
of
it
time.
against them, and then you meet strangers, and you don't know what they are, a blank slate, and you're like, oh,
this wonderful, this cherub that I just met.
Yeah, and you give strangers the benefit of the doubt, and you're like, oh, this person, I'm gonna be positive and say maybe this person is not that bad of a human being. I have to be nice to you for 10 seconds. I can do that, and then you go back to these people you love.
To put it in basketball, the only language you understand. Shooters, shooters shoot. Like the guys, they have a short-term memory. Yeah. They just have no short-term memory. They forget. Yes. If a guy's 0 for 8, he'll keep shooting.
Sure.
We need to be that with people.
Irrational self. Yeah.
A rational belief that, and not remember what all the horrible things these people have done.
Yeah. To us. Which, by the way, is from what every inspirational Instagram quote says, is that's what you're supposed to do with like be nice, like forgive people basically.
With should I picture a mountain behind it?
Right. Yes.
And music
and like the sun rising or setting.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay, great. I'm with you, and I don't know how to solve either one of them. We have the same problem. I have a tone problem. I mean, that's what I loved about your tone problem. Your tone joke was like, you're talking to the king of tone.
Yes.
King of bad tone.
Yeah.
People who don't know me
think you're pissed. Or arrogant. Pissed or arrogant. Yeah.
I mean, I was going to go with joyful and generous.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
No, exactly. So I am fucking with you.
Yeah.
Based on what just happened between us.
No, you used to have a bit there.
No, I used to have a bit about people think I'm superior and cold.
Yeah.
Superior.
You said like all the hip hop guys love you because they were like, Neal doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
And you're like, this is
because I'm sad. I'm no longer sad.
Right.
There were people in the comments. You'll see them. People like, I didn't want to like me. Why didn't you want to like? Think about all of the funny things I've done in the world, and you still didn't want to like me. Right. And it's my tone. I know why they didn't want to like me.
Oh, the tone.
And my face bones aren't helping.
This AIDS thing is a real.
It's a real.
It keeps coming back, right?
Yeah.
Right. But you got beautiful,
especially because I'm just HIV positive. I'm kidding.
But you got that you have like the ideal.
That's what I thought.
Okay, well,
that's what I thought.
People just need to find something. When you have a flawless face, they just need to find something.
Fucking jealous much? Haters, bunch of haters. Speaking of haters, here's a block that I don't know if anybody else is going to share. I hate umbrellas.
I hate umbrellas. It's they're so freaking. You gotta bring them. You're gonna forget it.
You know what's funny?
No one has ever remembered the umbrella.
Take your hat off again. It looks like you just got pummeled with rain, and you just said, "I'd
rather be pummeled with rain than have an umbrella."
Why?
Because you gotta take it. It's heavy. It's big. If you want it to be useful, it's gonna be big. The small ones don't do anything anyway. So for it to have any actual function, it needs to be large. It's heavy. You got to carry it in your hand because you can't put it in your bag because it's a big umbrella. And then you're going to leave it behind. You're going to forget about it. I always forget the umbrella. And then if you have one of those small little ones that my wife has, where that's the fancy whatever, you're going to break it because the closing mechanism isn't just the open and close. It's got buttons and stuff. One time I straight up just opened her umbrella incorrectly in Japan and broke it immediately. And from that moment on, I was like, don't even let me touch your umbrella. Can you
especially
hold it?
In Japan?
Yeah, I just don't want to touch umbrella. And I think
how
raincoats.
hard it is for me to not say something racist right now.
What?
You're in Japan, umbrella. I don't know. It just feels like It's like
nothing.
It's like Caesar. It's like the dog whisperer where I'm trying not to be racist.
Japanese people have great umbrellas. They got the plastic clear ones that you can actually see. It's like
I agree.
Yeah, those are great designs.
And at first I thought they were too feminine, but fuck it.
It's so practical.
And then flex the whole time. You're fucking nice.
Right, and you take the umbrella, and then the wind blows raincoat.
It hyperextends the umbrella.
Yeah,
where the wind blows, and then it's like a horrible football injury where the guy's leg is going the wrong way,
and it never recovers.
And you can fix it.
Right,
you didn't really fix it. The one thing can pop out of the fabric hole.
Yeah, the shaft just comes off the.
Yep. There's the hyperextension. And then there's the leave behind.
Yes.
Which is the amount of sunglasses and umbrellas I've left behind.
Yeah.
Is staggering.
Right. Good.
The button works.
Could fill Giant Stadium.
70% of the time the button works.
is tough. Button is tough. Not to mention, let's say you were using it in the rain. Guess what? Now it's wet. So you carry it with you. If it's the small one, you carry it with you all the time. And then now the wet is on you anyway. So raincoats is what is way more effective. Just wear a raincoat and not the stupid plastic one that ends up in the river. Raincoat, way more effective than umbrella. I'll take raincoat over umbrella.
How far down
What do you mean?
does the raincoat go?
Oh, it's below the knees.
Okay.
And also it's rain. I come from the tropics. I'm not scared of rain. Rain, do it. Dude, I've been staying in West Hollywood the last 2 weeks.
Fucking guy's suicidal.
It's been raining.
This guy's
It's been raining in West Hollywood. If it rains for 5 minutes in West Hollywood, everyone loses their mind.
It's a tragedy.
People run around in shorts in West Hollywood.
I'm leaving town because I can't take it.
Yeah, it's just rain, guys. The tropics rains all the time. It's fine. It's great.
Fucking guy's fearless. You're the bravest man I've ever met.
It's ridiculous. Umbrellas, give me a break. Water.
And to say nothing of what they do to hallways when you leave them out there, and there's a bunch of
puddle.
You ever go to an apartment party in New York?
Yeah.
When it's raining and the whole
flooded. You flood your building.
The whole hallway is just a bunch of
which causes mold and mildew, may expand the wood floors. God forbid you have wood floors. The whole thing. And then if it's raining heavy enough that you need an umbrella, guess what? The umbrella's not even going to stop it anyway. Because it's raining so heavy anyway. You're just carrying this thing around now.
And we're not even talking about when you poke people with it unintentionally.
You're walking
sharing an umbrella is a fucking nightmare unless it's a giant golf umbrella, and then it's 4.5 feet. You're walking around like Mr. Peanut.
5 kilos. You're carrying around a golf umbrella.
Yeah,
which
5 kilos
is what 10 pounds, whatever it is. And then you're walking in a crowd with other people with umbrellas, and then you got to do the high low thing. Everyone's like knocking.
This podcast is brought to you by Totes Umbrellas. Totes, go to totes.com.
Hate umbrellas.
I'm with you, and I
rather get wet and dry myself off.
I get so bummed out by being wet, like a wet coat.
Oh,
that's worse than any of the umbrella scenarios.
It doesn't help anyway, is my point. You're going to get wet anyway. It's not like the umbrella has, saved the day. Okay, it probably has saved a few days, but
I mean, it's one of humanity's best inventions. Fuck it. You're right. Okay. You hate small talking.
This is a lot of people though.
Yeah.
There's this thing in Asia, at least with Chinese people in Singapore and Malaysia, where we don't really small talk. We go hi, and then we don't need to.
Then you talk about money.
I would talk about money. Talk about how, but I mean, again, this is whatever. This is this is gonna sound like a hacky bit, but man, white people love to small talk. They got to do it, and it's not. It's just. I get it. It's the cultural thing.
I asked this with all earnestness. What do you think the difference is between white culture and Asian culture when it comes to small talk?
I think.
And feel free to go far back as far as you want.
Well, the reasons for it, interesting. Let's see if I can link it to Confucianism of mind your business. But maybe we don't small talk, especially in modern. First of all, when it's Asian people and white people, usually there's a language barrier. Asian people from Asia and white people, or even just people from the West, whatever they're.
But I'm talking about like in Singapore, in Malaysia, I'm assuming there's less small talk there.
Yeah, because one, it's considered kind of impolite to pry. It's almost like, oh, what'd you do yesterday? It's like, that's not my business.
Yeah.
Why am I asking you what you did yesterday? It's an imposition on you. You have to recap what happened, and then also it's like it's an invasion of privacy. And maybe the most you would ask is like, the older people will ask the younger people have they eaten. Have you eaten? When's the last time you ate? That's like a small talk version. Like no one really cares, but you just say that anyway, just because that's like a nice thing to say.
And it's a thing you can fix,
right? And you can I ate this, I ate that.
If somebody says that they want to
meet up,
pick your brain, what's your first thought?
First of all, this is a separate topic, but I hate the pick your brains.
It's a
pick your brains.
Thank you for pluralizing it because it gets it to the gore of it.
Yes.
Don't
picking the brains.
My brains
is the worst because to me, when someone says pick your brains, to me that indicates you haven't done any work, you haven't done any research. You just want me to fix your goddamn problem in the shortest way possible. But if you come to me with a specific question, that's awesome.
Yep.
I love to help with
Yep.
that. Love to give advice on split. But if you're like, hey, can I just pick your brains? I'm like, no, I don't want you to pick my brains.
I'm curious as to why Asian people, I guess it's the humility, right? That with the no smoke, they don't want to pry.
They don't want to pry, and there's a level of, I guess, I don't know. I think the obvious thing is there's a level of inauthenticity when I'm asking you about something I don't really care about the answer. So there's that.
What's funny about you is that reads.
Right.
Meaning, like, I know, like, you and Roy would share an office at the
Yes,
Daily
I
Show.
love Roy. Yeah.
The best.
Yeah.
And
Speaks very highly of you as
yeah,
well, by the way.
great guy.
Yeah.
When I would go into you and Roy's office, I know you like me.
Oh, yeah.
And we're friends.
Yeah.
But it was just kind of like, what? That was the energy you always gave me, which I thought was fucking hilarious.
Oh, okay.
Like, it never bothered me because I'm like, yeah, it's just Ronnie.
Oh,
it
thanks,
feels kind of like like guys.
Sure,
you know what
guys
I mean?
hanging
Like-
out. Maybe I didn't know you that well either at that time. So a little bit of is like, oh, I don't know you.
Right.
I don't know you well enough to even small talk or even like joke around with you because I don't know. Maybe maybe you're in your zone.
So mad.
I
I don't like joking.
Yeah,
around.
no, I treat the maybe it's almost like a green room, right? Like in green rooms
I
you
know what
go
you
and you're like comics in green rooms. The guy
could
who's
go either way. Yeah,
the guy who's joking too much in a green room, you're like, oh, this guy's gonna bomb.
that's funny.
When in the green room, you can tell who's gonna bomb sometimes.
Yeah.
Like, oh, this dude is, because most people they just kind of speak on stage or they're pros. So there's a bit of that too, right? Of like, but yeah, back to the small talk thing. I'm sure Asians in the comments will be angry at me trying to speak for all Asians, but I think it's fair to say that Singaporeans and Malaysians don't raise small talk, and so this idea of coming down, and it's whenever I see Singaporeans and Malaysians who have learned enough about Western culture, either because they've been educated overseas or they have worked with enough Westerners to know culturally. So it's like Japanese people will bow culturally.
Mm-hmm.
White people need to small talk, and so we give it to you. We'll be, oh yeah, how was your day?
Oh, that's interesting.
How was your day? It was okay. What did you do yesterday? Okay.
It's like a girlfriend kind of.
Yeah,
treat us
a little
like
bit.
Like
And you
white
can
people are your
see-
girlfriend that needs a certain amount of like.
how are you doing?
Oh, good.
How are you
eye contact,
today?
Eye contact.
Yes,
eye contact.
yeah, and you can see them. It's like a studied behavior, and not even in a bad way. I just mean like it's so funny to say because I know when I talk to the Singaporeans, they're like, hey, and that's it. That's all. Maybe hi,
And they like you, and they just go, hey.
hey, yeah. Because like, what are we gonna, How
Did
are
you have was your dad around?
How are you doing? We don't say how are you doing.
Can I pry? Can I white
Please.
pry real quick?
Please,
Do some white prying.
white prying.
Where's your dad?
Oh, he passed away a few years ago.
Oh, glad
Yeah,
I asked.
Yeah.
Were your
that's gonna be a
parents
block. Right
still
here.
married?
That'll be a really quick block.
Were they married?
Yeah.
And what kind of person was he?
He had a temper, but he was a very very gregarious guy amongst family and friends. So he would come in the room and everyone would be like he would be the center of attention in the room. He could always hold a room, always had jokes. And he very focused guy on education. So he would help his entire family in Malaysia. He would be the guy who'd be like, you gotta go here and study. You have to go to KL. To the point where he would force some of my cousins, like his nieces and nephews, he would force them into the car to go to the city to study because he'd be like, you need to learn accounting so that you'll have a future. He was the guy who is like and he wasn't even the oldest in the family, He was considered the younger brother.
And he was well educated?
He got his master's, but he got it late in life, which is why I came to America because he had 2 kids, his business failed, and then he decided to go to college with 2 kids to kind of retrain himself. And then he became an executive. When he went back to Singapore, he became like because in the early 90s, that was the last time when an overseas education was quite impressive.
And
now
then
everyone has
and
it.
then everyone started doing it?
Yeah,
So it was
everyone
like-
kind of has it. It's still, kind of impressive, but not everyone has it, so it's a bit less like of a wow thing. But I think he caught that tail end of you study overseas? Oh, wow. That kind of thing. And he was also a smart guy. So he,
And were you cool, tight with him? How would you?
Yeah, we were
categorize it?
cool. I don't think we were best friends, but I think we were cool, especially towards the end. You know, I think he passed away very suddenly, so we never got to say goodbye or anything.
How did
which is great.
what happened?
He was working on his farm, and he passed away on the farm. Yeah.
What kind of farm was it?
It's not like the old McDonald's farm. It's like a Malaysian Johor Bahru farm. So it's not barns and horses. It's like the tropics. There's oil palms. There's bananas. There's rubber tapping. So it's like
So it's like brutal.
Yeah, it's pretty brutal. Yeah, but he loved it. He loved it.
Was he always doing that?
He grew up doing that. He grew up being his family was rubber tappers in Malaysia, which rubber in Malaysia was like white gold back in the day. It's like that was, if you could tap rubber, it was unbelievable, especially if you own your own rubber trees. And so he grew up doing that, but he was like the guy in the family who went to school. He's probably the best educated in his family. Maybe two other aunties, but he was kind of like the academic one. And so he left that to go to the executive life and business and executive. He kind of left farming.
Right.
And then when he got older, he got retrenched and he just decided to go back to farming. Like something in him was like, I need to go back to farming. So he did it very happily. And I gotta say, the farming helped him mentally and physically so much. Even though it was like a brutal farm, he just loved it, you know? He just loved it.
And
his farm was like our stage time. It was like, he just felt alive in that farm. Yeah.
What ways are you similar to him? What ways are you different?
I think apparently we talk the same and we're very straight shooters, and we can both be the life of the party and also the grumpiest at the party, that was probably him. And he would always tell people how they should be better in their lives. Like, you should go and do this, and that's a dumb idea. And that, and I think I got a lot of that from him, just being.
I think I got a lot of that from him as well.
He would come in and be like, you should be studying accounting. And it's like, that's a dumb business idea. You should. He was like the ultimate management consultant. He would come in. I'm
gonna be honest with you. He sounds white. Sounds like a white guy.
Hey man, to white people don't know this. In Asia, there's people who are like that in Asia.
There are white Asians. White-hearted Asians.
But that's what's astounding.
He died. And are you aware of how that affected you? Do you think about it?
I think I'm still dealing with it.
Yeah.
He passed away very suddenly, very unexpectedly as well on Christmas Day, which probably is also why I don't like celebrating Christmas anymore.
I don't know. But I don't know if I see any correlation there.
I never got to say bye to him, and it was he visited me in New York just before he passed away for the only time.
What year?
This was like 2017, maybe.
So you're on The Daily Show.
I'm on The Daily Show. He came. Yeah, he saw it. He was pretty psyched to be back in America because he went to college in America, but he hadn't been back since. So his thing was, I just want to go have a Dunkin' Donuts. He was like craving Dunkin' Donuts. So we just brought him to Dunkin' Donuts in New York. And I think he had a good time in New York City.
White? He's white.
Yeah, man. And the last time I saw him was at Terminal 8 at JFK. That was when he was waving bye to go back to Singapore. So every time I fly out there, it's fucking brutal.
I bet.
Yeah, it's like, oh, damn, that's the last time. Literally, that TSA line is the last time I saw him.
That's the American terminal.
Yeah.
American Airlines. I know that terminal well.
Yeah, Terminal 8. So it's brutal, yeah. Lots of brutal stuff. When he passed away, we had to go and figure out his affairs, like
you and your mom,
his legal matters, because he left so suddenly. It's very weird. He was so old school. He left all his documents on his kitchen table, so we were able to go through it, paper printed out. So he left it there like 4
How
stacks.
often would he do it?
I think that's just how he did business. I think that's just how he did it, because he was old school in that way. So he printed it out. But yeah, when we come in, his stack, he had 4 stacks of folders, and we had to go through each stack to figure out what he was doing. You know, it wasn't anything shady. It was just like we had no idea what his farming was like. And my brother-in-law is a forensic accountant, so that helped.
That's fine.
And my wife is a lawyer, and so it was like if there was any team that was able to crack this case, it was us. And so we just went through it for like a week, and man, it was brutal. It was brutal looking through all his stuff, his old handwritten notes. You know.
Yeah, it must have been heartbreaking.
Yeah.
And it must also be, if you don't mind me saying, like kind of surreal.
Yeah.
Where you're like, did that happen?
Yeah. Yeah, it's surreal. It is surreal. Yeah, I mean, you know, your father passed away in a hospital, and you said goodbye to him.
You were there, you know.
Yeah, I know. You, or at least you tried to say goodbye to him.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so you know, people leave suddenly like that, and then you're like, oh, what, you know, and then you see ghosts of their life everywhere. You know, even just last Christmas, just a month ago, I had to go back to Malaysia to finally settle some of his estate matters because of the pandemic. I haven't been able to go back to Malaysia, so we were back in his hometown. I had to go to his hometown, which he brought us to as
it's
a
funny
kid.
because on Instagram it's just I'm in Malaysia.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
and then it's like, oh no, I'm like
I'm going through an
death
indie movie
stuff.
right now. Yeah, this is an indie road trip movie. Me, my mom, my sister, and we had to go back to his hometown and you know meet with a lawyer to sign stuff and
Figure out his rubber farm.
Yeah,
sounds like a 4,000-year-old job.
Right, and then go and see all the family stuff, you know, where he grew up, because he had a big family, so all his family is very welcoming. You know, my dad's side always very cool to us, like love them a lot. So we had to meet up with all of them, and you know, but he's from a small town.
I'm sorry that that's. I mean, we all have to deal with it, but that's seems like zero prep.
Yeah,
and zero,
and
it's is it hard to know what lesson to draw from it? Like, what am I supposed to think? Like, you know what I mean? Maybe you don't even think
not everything is a lesson, I guess, but I think the obvious stuff, right? Make peace with people when you can. Make sure I would say make your parents have a practical document of where they keep everything in case anything happens. You don't have to be trying to go through it like a forensic accountant trying to figure out what's going on. So at least they have they don't even need to show you, just have a practical document in addition to your wills, legal will. You have a practical document of like, I have cash under my pillow here,
and like leave it on the kitchen table.
Leave it somewhere people can find it, your passwords, you know, or you know, destroy my laptop, whatever your, you know,
whatever your masturbation
yeah, whatever the thing is. Yeah, and what's the lesson from that? I don't know. I think that you know, me and my dad went through our rough patches, I think, and we weren't like best friends, but we weren't enemies. You know, right?
Well,
I think we definitely loved each other.
Yeah, that's the other hard thing is like he dies suddenly.
Yeah.
And you go, man, I wish I'd been closer with him. But not because he died suddenly, but because who wouldn't want to be closer with their dad?
Yeah,
right?
And also you go like, man, could I have been closer with him? You know, things played out the way they played out, right? Like, how could I?
Yeah.
Like, what else could I have done? What, you know, in some ways, what different? Maybe we're two similar personalities that we couldn't be friends or whatever it was. But like, we still love each other a lot, you know?
Right.
Yeah, you don't have to be. In fact, the idea of being friends with your parents is not even an Asian thing to be.
I'm with you 100%. My dad's dead. He's pretty old.
Yeah.
Very old. About as old as you can get was dead.
Right.
And my mom's 88.
Right.
My mom's still like an authority figure to me.
Right.
And I don't like chill around authority figures, you know, like.
Right. You're very anti-authority in anything. You're kind of a little bit, yeah.
But that's the, like with your dad where it's some people, there's almost like structural tension.
Yeah.
Like he's your dad. He's an authority.
Yeah.
So how cool could it have been, and how
cool it could have been? Exactly.
But I hope, it sounds like you may have like not beat yourself up about it, but sort of questioned your own behavior within it. And
I don't know.
Some of it's just personality based.
Yeah, I think I'm lucky in a sense that I don't think obviously, you know, looking back at your last WhatsApp chats with your dad, you go like, oh man, I wish I said something more than, you know, then I don't know where to buy this drone, Dad. You know, like that's what he asked us. He's like, hey, should I buy a drone for the farm? I'm like, I don't think you should buy a drone. That's like, you know, the worst last conversation you can have with someone else.
I bet it meant a lot.
But so you kind of like wish you could say stuff, you know, but
you don't know. Well, I mean,
exactly.
We're all just surviving. You
yeah,
know what I mean? We're all just like, I gotta go. I mean, it's a good case for putting sugar in everything.
Yes,
it's a good.
Yes, exactly.
It's a good tone.
It's a good thing to fix that block.
But it's a lot. You know, life is busy and messy, and a lot of just like tedious, and we're not always
right.
You know, like at least you had a relationship with him, and you told him, that getting a drone for a farm is not a good idea.
And you know, not for nothing, but he got to see me go on the Daily Show. He got to see that I wasn't, you know, like struggling in America.
Did you do a chat when he was there? A chat is the thing when you sit at the table with
I
Trevor.
think so, but the thing I always love Franco for this, because Franco at the Daily Show, the sexy saxophone camera guy, he had a conversation with my dad in the hallway, and Franco, so nice, he was like, your son is great, your son's one of the great things. And so like I guess all parents, but especially like Chinese parents, like you're not good until some third party says, oh, this guy's good, and then they're like, oh man, my son is good, so
That's funny.
So he kind of walked away from that being like, oh man, they really like you on the show, man. I'm like, oh yeah, I hope so.
It's funny. And Franco could have just been bullshitting. It's a funny, like, there should be a service where you can talk to Asian parents, where you can hire
someone to tell them that.
Yeah. It'll be our romantic comedy that we're never going to write. Let's go from the psychologically fraught tension of your father dying to the block of I have to shower after taking a dump.
Yeah. So when feces passes through my anus, I have to.
You talk like I've never taken a shit.
When I push the feces from my colon out of my anus, after I wipe with paper, I go and shower.
So what about a bidet? What a total toilet?
Bidet could work, but shower.
Okay. What about one of those spray?
Spray is how we do it in Southeast Asia, but also shower. Because for me, the spray is like, okay, now I don't know where it's going. That spray is so high powered that.
How about a spray with a cone? You know what I mean?
Right.
You stick a cone around your anus hole.
Yes.
Anus. I guess just anus. Yeah. And then you spray, you isolate the anus with and you spray
H2O. Hydrogen.
H2O. Yeah. But English is his first language, everybody. And I went wide because I wanted it. This is more personal. This is more like this fucking guy.
High pressure.
And then you cone high pressure hose. Yeah. Not that high pressure. Like, let's not hurt ourselves.
Right.
And then it goes out of, so you know where it goes.
Shower.
Because what's the difference? What happens in the shower?
You know you get it. Shower, you know you got everything.
Because of gravity and soap.
Gravity and soap, and even if it gets somewhere else, you'll wash it off. Presumably, you shower in a clean.
People have been mad at me about this for years. Do you wash your legs in the shower?
Yeah.
No. Soap on your ankles and calves. Yeah, but
I do it because if I don't emphasize it, it doesn't get done. So I'm with you on your macro point, but I do it because to compensate for exactly what you're describing, which is that people don't soap shower, they wash their legs.
Right. We all, yes. If you don't, no one's going to wash us.
Yes. For me, that's like, that's like watching your posture, right? Okay. Remember you wash your legs.
But do you think it's necessary and helpful? Is this connected to the anus and the feces?
I mean, this feces thing is just that I don't know about your culture, but I consider feces to be dirty and smelly. And so for me, in our culture, you try to wash things which are dirty and smelly, especially if it's feces. So I don't know what y'all are doing out there on the internet, but over here, we like to keep things clean all over.
The information you brought today about feces being dirty and smelling has been a bounty.
Yes. Revolutionary thinking. That
it's Asian, it's the Far East. This is what's great about bringing the Orient. There's no other word for it. Their technology when it comes to feces stinking and being dirty is transcendent.
Wash it. It's a revolutionary concept.
All right, here's a question that I've never asked a man.
By the way,
when you're soaping your asshole,
yes,
you ever give yourself in any way titillating?
Nope.
Okay.
Just me.
Then absolutely me neither.
Yeah. Oh my God.
If we're talking about soaping it, I'm talking about soaping it.
Okay.
So you
gotta touch it to soap it. You gotta touch it to soap it.
Yes.
Fair. Yeah.
Do you ever feel like, well,
no. Just me though. That's just me.
No, I'm absolutely with you. It's just us. It's just us.
I genuinely don't. I'm there to get clean. I'm not
right,
there.
but
I'm not here to have fun.
If this feces,
Yeah.
it's a menace, right? We'll call feces a menace.
For me, fair to say yes.
So where is that? But it's fine if it's in your body. Is it? What's the tube? The colon? You know this. You know this.
Yes.
You're a proctologist.
Yeah.
So do you ever get like colon issues or that you need to worry about? Itch, disturbance?
No.
People's don't look at me.
No,
like
I don't know what your
assholes don't itch.
Are you describing that I should to be not a hypocrite with my behavior? I need to put my hand into my colon and pull feces out. Yeah, like I have to clean the inside of my fucking large intestine for me to not be a hypocrite.
The lower.
No, I just shower afterwards. I think it's easier. By the way, in the tropics where I'm from, it's normal to shower at least twice a day, if not more, if you can get home, because it's hot and it's humid and it's sweaty. So it just becomes.
Do you mind hot weather? I like hot weather.
I like hot weather, but you get sweaty in Singapore. You've been there.
Yeah.
Like, so because of that showering culture, it's just like, oh, I'm going to shower twice. I might as well take a dump and then shower and then what? You know what I mean? Like it just becomes an efficiency thing, and then it becomes a habit of like every time I take a dump, I'd rather go take a shower. That's all it is. It's all very logical.
Look, it's all totally justified. It's a shame that I'm going to die and this is going to be our last conversation. But that's how life is.
That's how life is sometimes. You see, this is one of those things. This is one of those blocks where it sounds weird, and
it doesn't sound weird at all.
Oh, okay, great.
I'm the sucker of that segment for even broaching the finger, and I'm not going to cut it out because it would be a coward's edit. That is a coward's edit to cut that out. I'm going to take whatever. That'll be the new thing because people were mad at me for not washing my legs because I mentioned it on a podcast 4 years ago. People will still at me. I believe that you wash your chest and your pubes and dick.
Oh, because the soap will wash
gravity.
Gravity will handle legs.
There's nothing that's sticking to me that I need to scrub off my legs.
In between the toes, though, that's not, gravity's not going to.
Are you washing in between your toes?
Yeah, you gotta. At least a once off, right?
Once a week or once
every
during
the shower, you do you go here multiple times in the shower, right? Multiple strokes. Here you gotta
do you have a rail or something that you can hold on to?
That's a great question.
Thanks so much. I have my own podcast.
I don't have a rail. You just got to yoga balance and then do that. And sometimes you lean on the wall. But hey, you practice your core, But you gotta wash in between the toes. Come on, that's like a.
I think that's a bridge too far for me.
Okay, well.
I mean, I don't
get
wash
to the
my
toes
legs.
and then we'll work your way to the anus. Let's put it that way.
That's my anus. Your toes are my anus. I think that that's insane, and the fact that you've.
Right.
I can't believe you do that.
What, the toes or the anus?
The toes.
Oh, the anus.
You don't do the anus.
Okay.
I may have done the anus at a point. Not again. If I were to have done it, and I'm not cutting out, it's coward's edit. It would have been during an itchy period.
Okay.
Just getting to the root of the problem. Like, let's go. Let's nip this in the bud.
Yeah, we're talking about two different things here.
Yeah.
Talking about clean hygiene and you're talking about something else. The toes thing, come on. Okay, you just take your hand and then you just put in between your, you do that. This is your foot. You do that. Do it once and then. Oh.
You were great. You're great as a person. You're a great comedian.
I hope so.
You're a great TV personality. I haven't seen any of the movies you've been in. I'm happy you're in Megan. Just because I haven't seen it. That you haven't been in the ones.
Read it on Wikipedia.
I didn't see. I know. Okay. I do. Crazy Rich Asians is about crazy rich Asians. That's what I picked up on Wikipedia. Ronny Chieng. Look for him on Netflix. Look for him in Megan. Look for him in Crazy Rich Asians. Look for him in Shang-Chi. Look for him. Fuck with him. If you see him on the street, make sure he's nicer to his wife than he is to you. God bless.
Thanks for having me on.
Yeah,
love you, dude.
Love you too, man.